Okay, so I'm coming at you with another theory of The Walking Dead. Now, this is one I've seen, and I'd have to say, if you go into reading psychologically about things and how people act psychologically, the fact that Rick's in a coma in the beginning of the show, there's a lot of things that could go on. He could hear Shane when Shane was talking to him. You notice that in the very first episode. Here's the idea that it's not just mine. It's been a lot of people's. Rick's dreaming, and if you delve into the subconscious and you delve into a man's worst fears, I mean, I don't know about you, but the idea of a zombie apocalypse is pretty scary. Although unlikely, although probably not, definitely not. A bunch of undead people walking around, kind of not going to happen. So, I mean, we have undead people walking around every day anyway. I mean, you see them with their smartphones and watching this YouTube video, I'm sure. No offense. Love my viewers. Don't have very many of them. Hoping to change that. But anyway, if Rick's dreaming, his biggest fear could, be he knows Shane pretty well. Let's start with the Shane theory. Okay, and I'm referring to the show because, let's face it, Shane's character didn't last too long in the comic, which leads to believe that probably Carl hated him. It's pretty sad because most people hate Carl. Anyway, this isn't about a Carl hating video. I'll get to that later. Realistically, Rick's biggest fear is losing his family, losing his wife. And if you look into things, there was a mention that she almost died during childbirth with Carl. Anyway, I wonder if Rick said that during the childbirth. Interesting if he did. It did not. But Shane banging his wife. Right now, Shane pretty much comes off as a character in the times before the apocalypse happened, Walker apocalypse. Let's refer to it the way the show does: walkers, biters, lurkers, whatever you want to call them. But anyway, so Shane had pretty much, as Eddie Murphy once said, screw everything. So, he did have a very strong bond with Rick and trying to take over Rick's spot. I've seen that in friendships I've had where there were people that were like Shane. So that could be Rick's biggest fear. It could be a subconscious manifesting. He could still be in that hospital, still be in that coma, and Lori could be sitting right next to him. Let's hope not Sarah Callies. No offense, can't stand you. God, terrible actress in everything. Favorite scene from Prison Break, as far as Sarah goes, is her getting her head cut off. Worst realization of Prison Break is it didn't actually happen and she comes back. Kind of like she came back in The Walking Dead. Kind of interesting how those two go together. But anyway, any man's biggest fear is going to be losing his wife to his best friend. I've lost a person to a best friend, so I kind of understand. God, the lighting is terrible. I apologize for the quality of the video. Anyway, the death of Lori with Judith could have been a subconscious manifestation, and Rick wanting to be this great leader, this piece of him, this world that exists inside him. I mean, if you look at the series itself, every time everything tends to come to a calm place. Let's try to forget season 2, the sleeping farm season. That all hell breaks loose in a matter of minutes. Every time Rick seems to get comfortable, somebody he cares about dies. So I believe that Rick's still in his coma. I don't think any of this is happening. I think Shane may be coming in every so often, bringing him flowers that he probably stole from his grandmother, if she's still alive. And I believe that Lori's right there with him. I think that some of the subconscious characters, I think they're all a construct of Rick's mind. Then you got Abraham, who could be a orderly in the hospital or a security guard of some sort. Michonne could have been one of the nurses. Negan himself could have been the doctor. And let me really get into the whole Negan being the doctor thing. Let's face it, if you're a man and you don't like doctors going to hospitals, you could manifest that individual's image into who Negan is. I mean, if you think about it, And if Rick is somewhat alert during his coma, he could pick up on all of these things around him. Now, I can't explain, obviously the father, the priest, he could very well be the priest from the hospital as well. Negan could even be a construct of Rick's actual boss. I don't know where they're going with the show. I'm pretty excited. I'm not going to give you a theory on who I think is dead, because pretty much over the last 6 months waiting for the show, which is horseshit if you ask me to have to wait 6 months for a show, pretty much everybody in that group has been chopped at one point. Basically saying that, you know, the people that mean the most to Rick are the ones that die, at least when it comes to females. And if his subconscious is really at work here, we may see the end of the series with Rick just waking up. And episode montage of all these people and where they came from. You got the medic. I can't remember what his name was. Either way, his leg got eaten by Gareth. That guy gave me the creeps anyway. He could have seen Gareth's mother on an episode of Star Trek that happened to be on the TV. Sorry, I thought Tasha Yar was a good character. Anyway, if you look into it, you really think about it, and you delve into it, every one of the characters that have followed Rick around throughout the series, Herschel, they could all be people that he's seen within that hospital. Herschel could even be a representation of what Rick would want his father to be like. That one is something I just thought of. You got Glenn, could be a static representation of somebody that, or the way he wants Carl to turn out. Carl's character itself and the progression of the character. Carl's been shot twice, lost his eye once, almost died the first time over a deer. As in the comic book, it was because he thought he was a walker. So you obviously see psychologically Rick has a really, really strong love for his son, which is true. But these other characters that Rick bonds with, you know, Daryl could be a representation of Carl at the age of, 35, 40. We all know Norman Reedus is older, so Daryl's character didn't even fool me. He didn't even look young in the beginning of the show, which, seeing Daryl Dixon and Merle Dixon, they could also be, Merle Dixon could be the construct of the worst parts of Rick, as could Negan. I could go all day with this. I want to see what you guys think, so go ahead and comment below. Subscribe if you choose to. Not really trying to jump on and make a bunch of money here or anything like that. I'm just trying to talk to the people and see what they think, and see if there's people that think like me out there. So that's my son in the background. I'm going to go see what he's doing, and I thank you for watching.